Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Thursday, October 5th, 2017. If you want to follow us on Twitter, please go to CATEX TV. The U.S. broker Integro, which was launched by Bob Clements in 2005, has apparently entered into exclusive takeover talks with 200-year-old London broker Tysers. This is according to the Insurance Insider. Sources have told the Insider that Integro had fought off competition from long-term suitor RFIB, as well as the U.S. wholesale broking giant Amwins, to secure exclusivity. And once again, the multiple for brokers is relatively high. A banking source suggested that the purchase price was in the region of about 120 million pounds, or about 159 million U.S. Tysers reported earnings before interest, tax, and depreciation of about 10.6 million pounds. This would imply a trailing multiple of more than 11 times revenue. Renaissance Re has warned that net losses from a trio of Atlantic hurricanes, as well as a duo of earthquakes that rocked Mexico, are likely to cost about $625 million in claims. An analysis by the Insurance Insider shows that loss would wipe out about 12.5% of RenRe's average shareholder equity for the first half of 2017. Also, Partner Re announced that it expects third quarter losses of about $475 million from the three hurricanes. That would come to about a 7% cut of shareholder equity as of the 30th of June. One of the Bank of England's most senior staff people in charge of banking regulations said in a speech last night in London that the EU and Britain need to make progress on a Brexit transition by Christmas or risk seeing banks and financial firms leave England. Sam Woods, the chief executive of the Prudential Regulation Authority, an arm of the Bank of England, said, "If we get to Christmas and the negotiations have not reached any agreement on this topic, diminishing marginal returns will kick in. Banks will start discounting the likelihood of a transition in the central case of their planning." Transition, what that means is that banks need to make final decisions about moving staff by the first quarter of next year at the latest, and they need at least a year, if not longer, to set up fully functioning branches in subsidiaries in Europe to maintain uninterrupted activities in the EU. Without some agreement over future arrangements, banks will likely look to trigger their contingency plans and begin to leave England. 3 U.S. Special Forces soldiers have been killed and 2 others wounded in an ambush in Niger near the border with Mali. This is in Central Africa, North Central Africa. Several Nigerian soldiers are also reported to have died. The U.S. Africa Command said that an ambush had been set up by Boko Haram, a branch of Al-Qaeda. Boko Haram has been the subject of a fairly large American military presence in Chad over the past several years. Brazilian police have detained the president of the country's Olympic Committee in Rio de Janeiro. 72-year-old Carlo Nuzman has been arrested as part of a cash for votes probe after the country's bid for the Rio 2016 Olympics was won. The committee's director general, Leonardo Greiner, was also arrested. A tropical depression that is approaching the coast of Nicaragua strengthened into Tropical Storm Nate earlier this morning. It could become Hurricane Nate over the next 72 hours as it brushes past the western portion of Florida's Panhandle and into the northern Gulf Coast late this weekend. The long-term path of the storm is unclear. It's only expected to become a Category 1 that will bring heavy rainfall and wind speeds of up to 95 miles an hour. One of the spaghetti strands of the model tracks has it passing over New Orleans. And here's a story about globalization. American shoppers buying seafood at popular stores like Walmart may have unwittingly helped fund North Korea. An Associated Press investigation released this morning found that North Korean workers outsourced by their government process seafood in China, some of which end up in American stores. The North Korean workers are virtual slaves. They're being paid essentially as little as 46 cents an hour. The North Korean government takes about 70% of their paychecks. This export of worker process is estimated to reap about $500 million a year of profits for Kim Jong-un's regime. According to the Associated Press, A variety of seafood, including salmon fillet, snow crab, and squid rings, eventually ended up in Walmart stores as well as in Trader Joe's in the U.S. American seafood distributors and retailers said they are checking their food supply chains, and if they find any hint of work done by North Koreans, they will eliminate the processor. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.